Get off my property. Sue Blackwell's furious shout cut through the quiet morning like a siren. She stormed toward me, arms waving like she was directing traffic in a hurricane. As the president of Oak Ridge Estates HOA, she was convinced I was destroying their sacred community green space. But here's the kicker that made my temper flare. I'd never signed up for their HOA nonsense. No contracts, no dues, no bowing to their petty rules. Yet there I was, labeled the villain. What unfolded next turned this sleepy neighborhood into a battlefield of secrets and lies. If you've ever tangled with overzealous neighbors, stick around. This tale spirals into pure pandemonium. I was staking out my boundary line when the trouble hit. I'd planted a sign reading "Private Property, Harper Family Land, established 1962, right by the massive oak tree that had stood sentinel for generations. After 6 months of paying taxes on the 15.7 acres I'd inherited from my grandfather, I was finally claiming what was mine. Grandfather always warned, never trust the bureaucrats. Boy, did I learn why when Sue charged in like she owned the world. The sharp click of her high heels on the pavement announced her arrival before I saw her. Sue Blackwell emerged like a thundercloud, her perfectly coiffed silver hair tied back so severely it looked painful. Flanking her were 2 HOA board members whose names I'd never cared to learn, and trailing them was a local news crew filming a segment on HOA overreach in Willow Creek County. The timing couldn't have been more ironic. They'd chosen the perfect day to capture the drama. Sue was dressed in a sharp gray suit that screamed retired real estate lawyer, though I didn't know her background yet. What I did know, watching her advance with unshakable confidence, was that this woman bent reality to her whims. Stop right there. Her command demanded instant compliance. You're defacing HOA common property, and it's all on camera. The news camera panned to me, and I felt like I'd been thrust into a soap opera. This space is designated community land, and you're unauthorized. She froze mid-sentence as she read my sign. Her face twisted from outrage to bewilderment, as if the words had morphed into gibberish. Your family's what? I stood tall, wiping dirt from my hands, and met her gaze. Her tone ignited every stubborn streak my Scottish grandfather had instilled in me. This oak is smack in the middle of my family's 15.7 acres, I said calmly, despite the adrenaline rush. According to the deed I inherited, all this belongs to the Harpers. The statement hung heavy in the air. Sue's jaw worked soundlessly, and for a split second, I almost pitied her. Almost. Then she exploded. Your family's what? The yell was raw, the cry of someone whose reality was crumbling. This whole development has been HOA land since 1987. I've handled real estate law for 20 years. This is utterly impossible. Spit flew with her words, and the camera caught every dramatic second. Neighbors peeked from their homes, phones out to record the spectacle. But impossibilities are often just truths the powerful ignore. I pulled the faded deed from my pocket, the one grandfather had entrusted to me on his deathbed, making me vow to protect our legacy. The paper was worn, but the county seal gleamed, and the boundaries outlined every inch of Oak Ridge Estates. Not just the tree, but every house in the subdivision. Ma'am, I said, offering the document with feigned patience. You might want to read this before saying more you'll regret. Sue snatched it, her eyes darting over the text like a drowning woman grasping for a lifeline. The reporter edged closer, sensing a scoop, as the camera zoomed on Sue's shifting expression from smugness to dread. These are forgeries, she stammered, her voice cracking. I demand the police arrest this fraudster now. She whirled to the news crew, mistaking them for allies. He's trying to ruin 47 families with fake papers. That's when Mike Reynolds stepped out from his house across the street, moving with the heavy tread of a man burdened by secrets. I'd always respected Mike. He'd been grandfather's neighbor for years, always lending a tool or a kind word. But as he approached, his lined face tightened my gut with worry. Sue, he said softly, yet his words sliced through her tirade. She stumbled back a step. Mike's gaze met mine, filled with regret and hidden knowledge. You need to drop this right now. The quiet authority stunned us all. Some things, he added, still locking eyes with me, are best left buried. His cryptic words cast a chill over the group, even the news team sensing they'd uncovered more than a simple spat. The sheriff's radio crackled then. Pull all original records for Oak Ridge Estates. Back to the start. Sue's face drained of color, cycling through denial, rage, and raw fear. Sirens wailed in the distance. 47 families were about to learn their dream homes might sit on stolen ground, and the queen of their domain was facing truths she'd long denied. The first legal volley landed in my mailbox the next day. A certified letter from Oak Ridge HOA, emblazoned with their pompous logo of entwined oaks that looked more menacing than majestic. I ripped it open over cold coffee. Cease and desist, blared the header, followed by pages of legalese boiling down to stop your claims, pay $500 for vandalism, or face ruin. What impressed and unsettled me was the speed and polish. This wasn't amateur hour. It cited Colorado statutes on HOA powers with precision. Either Sue had pulled an all-nighter or she kept templates for threats like mine. The idea that I wasn't her first target was both reassuring and chilling. I called my sister Liz right away. She was the only lawyer I trusted, a public defender who fought for the underdog. Can you check the county records for my plot? I asked bluntly. There was a pause. John, she said, her tone laced with caution, maybe think twice about pushing this. It stung like ice water. Liz was the pragmatic one, always chasing justice. Hearing her urge, retreat felt off. Worth it. Liz, if grandfather's deed holds, the whole subdivision is illegal. Another silence, then a whisper of fear. Promise you'll consider if this battle's wise. Some fights create bigger messes. I dove into research for hours. HOA rules bind only consenting members. Fines, liens, all hinged on agreement. I'd never joined, so their threats were toothless as a kitten's meow. Emboldened, I penned my reply with surgical care. Dear Ms. Blackwell and Oak Ridge HOA Board, I wrote, thank you for your letter. I decline to cease maintaining my land, as I'm not a member and thus unbound by your rules. Enclosed, certified copy of the 1962 Harper deed, proving ownership. Let's focus on boundaries, not debates. Sincerely, John Harper. I delivered it that evening, with grandfather's deed and old maps. Sue opened her door in casual attire, her smile cold as steel. Mr. Harper, how prompt. Something had shifted. Her calm was more menacing than her rage. I've researched property rights, I countered, mirroring her politeness. I think you'll find it enlightening. Her eyes narrowed as she read, her facade cracking at my non-member status. Fascinating, she murmured. In my experience, the most confident often know the law least. The veiled threat confirmed. This was war, waged with papers and tricks from a seasoned attorney's playbook. We'll see who knows better once the county reviews those records, I said, retreating. Her smile turned predatory. Oh, Mr. Harper, those records will be very interesting indeed. My stomach nodded. Halfway home, Liz texted, John, something's up with the records. 2 conflicting surveys. Talk tonight. 2 surveys? Boundaries were fixed. This was impossible. Liz dug into the archives. The 1985 one lacked hearings, signatures redacted, files missing. Someone had redrawn our land just before the HOA formed, a deliberate erasure. By midweek, HOA tactics escalated. Patrols at my curb, stacked violations, new cameras like thorns. It was about building a dossier to brand me the troublemaker. Liz called Saturday, tense. The 1985 survey was county-ordered, but no why. No records. Like grandfather's work was corrected on purpose. The implications hit hard. Systematic theft for development. Monday's HOA meeting agenda read like a prosecution, assessing my fraudulent claims, reviewing footage, legal remedies. Social shunning began. Neighbors avoided me, like Mrs. Jenkins crossing the street. Then Mike broke his silence Thursday, appearing at my fence like a specter. Your grandfather never bought that 1985 survey, he whispered. Said it stank of foul play. I leaned in. What did he know? Mike glanced around. He hid the original markers and docked somewhere safe. Knew this day would come. The revelation thrilled and terrified. Grandfather had foreseen the fight. I confided in Liz that afternoon. He hid evidence. If we find it, we prove fraud. Pause. Then her eager reply. Incredible. Let's meet this weekend to strategize. Her sudden enthusiasm nagged, given her earlier reluctance. That night, paranoia gripped me. Every noise a threat, shadows, spies. Morning brought a photographer snapping my property. They fled when confronted. I was under siege. Liz's Friday text. Found something helpful. Meet at office tomorrow, 10 a.m. No docs. See my discovery first. It felt off, but desperation won. Her call followed. Voice hushed. We'll talk tomorrow. A faint malpractice before hang-up. I had no inkling I was heading into betrayal. Saturday, Liz's office was a mess of files and justice posters. She looked exhausted. John, let's discuss options. Options screamed bad news. She outlined adverse possession. 18 years of open use could trump deeds. Even if valid, HOA might win. Consider settling. I stared, betrayed. Settling? This is theft. I'm protecting you, she said weakly. Battles cost, no guarantees. I left fired up, but isolated. If my sister urged surrender, I needed independent ammo. Afternoon search of grandfather's place yielded luck. Under oak roots, a brass marker stamped 1962, matching the deed. Hours later, 6 more. Plotting them revealed they encircled all of Oak Ridge. The 1985 survey wasn't correction. It was cover-up for massive theft. Sunday at County Records, Clerk Edna praised grandfather's precision. His files, duplicates, maps, photos, notice establishing boundaries over the future subdivision. Smoking gun. My HOA letter was brutal. Oak Ridge sits on Harper land since 1962. You're trespassing. Arrange leases or face eviction. Cease activities. Contact within 7 days. I posted online repo with proofs, mailed notices with QR codes. Chaos erupted. 30 residents mobbed Sue's yard, demanding answers. Her reassurances carried, but tension boiled. At 10:30 p.m., attorney Laura Jenkins called. Your position isn't strong. Her certainty unnerved. Sue's silence since my letter? Ominous preparation. The call shattering all came at 7 a.m. Liz panicked. John, about Sue. She found my lapsed malpractice insurance. Blackmail. Report to bar and less cooperation. What did you give? Silence, sobs. Everything. Diary, box location, strategy, Mike's hints. Scope hit. Sue anticipated every move, fed by my sister. Hours later, Jenkins arrived with docs dismantling my evidence. Records claiming grandfather died days before 1962 survey, invalidating it. Looked real, certificates, reports. But impossible. I remembered him teaching me that summer. Alternate history, forged masterfully. This wasn't amateur, deep resources. Mike cracked in my driveway. Your grandfather trusted me. I failed. Details, misplaced records, top-down pressure, greater good. Grandfather uncovered in 1991, hid proofs. Warfare ramped. Town hall painted me delusional fraudster. News. Man claims neighborhood ownership. Social media, tearful families, plummeting values. Grandfather's diary. They'll come when time blurs truth. Mike holds key, council minutes. Guilt saves evidence. Make him choose. Hope flickered, but pressure mounted. Evening knock. Sue's $2.3 million countersuit for distress. Attached note. John, one untold secret about records. Dawn by Oak, alone. Mike. Dawn. Mike with dusty box. Copies. 1,987 minutes. Finances, recordings. Memo. County crisis. Seize Harper land for revenue. Theft, not possession. Why wait? Mike. Grandfather said wait till you're ready to build your strength. By noon, Angela Ramirez, civil rights lawyer, reviewed. Federal violation. Conspiracy under law color. Shift. Offensive against corruption. Filed motions, subpoenas, federal probe. Trial packed. Media frenzy. Sue's team argued possession, abandonment, family harm. Witnesses, law experts, emotional residents. Mike's testimony demolished. Theft for good? Still theft. Evidence, correlations, minutes, tapes. Sue's ploy, parade families, pleading mercy. Effective guilt trip, but grandfather's words steeled me. Judge Margaret Ellis ruled. Harper owns 15.7 acres. Development unauthorized. Conspiracy proven. Ordered $3 million back rent. Federal charges. Sue's license suspension. Chaos. Stunned silence. Sue's empire crumbled. Victory hollow. Innocence suffered. I offered fair leases, compassionate justice. Aftermath Messier, Sue's downfall swift, bar probe, assets frozen, shunned. Moving truck under scrutiny, her reign ended self-inflicted. Ripples, 12 families sold, rest divided blame. Meeting devolved to police calls. Conspirators faced justice, arrests, iconic photos. Liz's redemption, suspension, counseling, join my cause. My shift, landlord, media offers, responsibility. Federal probe widened, pattern corruption, recovered millions. Mike's atonement, deeded properties for $100,000 fund for victims. Sue's exile, paralegal far away, apologetic letter mixed remorse, excuses. Community stabilized, 33 stayed on favorable terms, values rose. Oak became symbol, park with markers, rights pilgrimages. Established Harper Legal Defense Fund, helped recoveries, Liz led. Legislative, Harper Act, oversight, protections. 5th anniversary under Oak, real victory, stubborn family defending principles. Final discovery, diary and equipment case. Properties about principles. Grandfather refugee, lost all abroad. Oak planted Citizenship Day, American promise. He unlocked box, strategies, cases, grandfather orchestrated, guiding me. Transformation, from inheritor to guardian. Liz rebuilt, rights specialist. Mike, service, peace. Sue, cautionary tale. Oak, public monument. Foundation, $20 million recoveries. National reforms. True meaning, rights earned generationally. Beneath Oak at sunset, promise. Watch continues, principles endure. What do you think about the themes of injustice and power abuse in everyday life? Have you faced similar battles with authority or unfair systems? Share your stance in the comments below, whether you believe fighting back is always worth it, or if sometimes compromise is the smarter path. Let's discuss how we can stand against such wrongs.